Hello everyone, my name is Prajakta Dhage. I am from Department of Zoology, KTHM College, Nashik. So today I'll be taking a practical for TYBSc, which is from paper 2. The module that we are going to deal with from this paper is genetics and molecular biology, and today's practical is temporary preparation of polytene chromosome from the suitable material. Now the suitable material that we are going to use is the Chironomus larvae. Okay. Now, chromosomes. Polytene chromosomes are often referred to or also referred to as giant chromosomes. These are oversized chromosomes commonly found in the salivary glands of larval stages of Drosophila and Chironomus dipteran flies. In those, the glandular cells undergo endomitosis without cell division. Repeated rounds of DNA replication with failure of separation of sister chromatids leads to formation of giant chromosome. Lamprecht chromosomes found in ovarian egg of Triton is also one of the type of giant chromosome. Balbiani in 1981 first found the polytene chromosome in the salivary glands of Chironomus mitis. Now, its hereditary nature was proved or was confirmed by Emil Hertz and Hans Bauer in 1930. Now, this work was done in Drosophila melanogaster. Now, due to the large size of these chromosomes, and they also have numerous strands, Kohler suggested their name to be polytene chromosomes. They are known to occur in the secretory tissue of other dipteran insects such as Malpighian. Now, the polytene chromosomes have characteristic bands and interbanding pattern. This can be used to identify the chromosomal rearrangements and deletions. Bands have highly condensed DNA called as heterochromatin, whereas interbands have less condensed euchromatin. Now, banding frequently corresponds to inactive chromatin, whereas swollen region, that is puffs, are usually found at the areas with high transcriptional activity. Now, this followed by translation and biomolecule synthesis. The larger puffing regions are called as Balbiani rings. So this was about the polytene chromosomes. Let's move on towards the other part, which is understanding the Chironomus larvae. Now what you see here in the red box is basically the Chironomus larvae, and this is its adult. Now the Chironomus larvae are also referred to as bloodworms, as they are bright red in color because they are said to possess hemoglobin pigment. They are aquatic and semi-aquatic organisms, and they belong to class Insecta. Obviously, their body is divisible into head, thorax, abdomen region with anterior and posterior prolegs. The salivary gland the secretory tissue cells have metabolic advantages, as are with multiple copies of genes responsible for higher gene expression. These larvae before undergoing pupation, they are going to feed voraciously to produce large quantities of mucoproteins that will form their pupa or the pupal case, as well stored energy will be utilized during their metamorphosis. Okay, so this was about the larva of or the Chironomus larva. Let's move on towards the procedure, or let's first see what is the acetocarmine stain. So what we are going to do here is, in this particular experiment, we are going to use acetocarmine for staining the chromosome. Now carmine is a basic dye prepared from insect known as Coccus cacti. Okay, so acetocarmine is derived carmine is derived from this particular insect, and acetocarmine is produced by mixing carmine with glacial acetic acid. Now DNA has specific binding properties with this particular dye. It is a so basically this is a DNA specific stain used for visualization of supercoiled chromosomes during the different stages of mitosis. This is going to selectively stain the DNA or the chromosomes, leaving the cytoplasm unstained. So you can clearly make out the chromosomes over here. Now let's move on to the procedure. Now the procedure is being divided into four steps. First one is dissection of the larvae and removing the salivary glands. Second is staining the salivary glands with acetocarmine. Now fourth is adding a cover slip and crushing it and incubating it for some time or waiting for some time, and then we have to observe it under microscope. So let's see one by one. So the first step, dissect the larvae and remove the salivary glands from it. Now how are you going to do it? Take a minimum of 4 larvae on the microscopic slide, and one by one we are going to place them on a drop of water using the forceps. Hold one with the forceps such that its tracheal tubes are facing upward. Use a dissecting needle to separate a portion from the top equal to about 1/3 of the body. Now, you may have to look for transparent salivary glands in the dissected material. Now you have to discard rest of the thing, only keep this transparent material. Now repeat this particular thing with other larvae also. Okay. Now the second step is going to be adding the acetocarmine. Now if you have enough amount of material, separate it into 1 or 2 glands per region to make 3 regions on the slide. Carefully place a drop of acetocarmine, or you can also use acetoresin stain for that matter, on each of the region. Wait for some time and proceed to the next step. Now crushing of the glands to expose the cells, right? So how are you going to do it? Place a cover slip carefully in each of the regions of the slide where the salivary glands are placed. Crush each cover slip against the slide with the help of thumb. It is easier if you keep 2 fingers on either side of the cover slip, but if the crushed region appears too thick, you can flatten it further by tapping the cover slip multiple times with back of the dissecting needle or cap of the pen. Allow the exposed cells to absorb stain for near about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes before proceeding to the next step. Now the next step is observing under microscope. Now locate the polytene chromosome under microscope. For that what you have to do is place the slide under the microscope, locate the squash region under 4x and or 10x magnification to see where to focus. Once those are determined, change the objective to 40x to locate the individual cells. If certain fibrous projections appear, switch to 100x. And now it is possible to observe the light and dark banding pattern. Okay, so this was about the procedure, and this is what you are going to see in results. Okay, so this is how the polytene chromosomes are going to appear to you. Okay, with their light and dark banding pattern. Here you can clearly see the light and dark banding pattern. So this was about this particular experiment and studying the polytene chromosomes in the Chironomus midges. And thank you so much for listening.